Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Studio Ghibli Summer. I'm, of course, RussellStarTrek, joined by Oddboy.
Hello.
And after the actually pretty good start to the 2010s with The Secret World of Aridia, I didn't really know what to expect from the next film in the release order. I've heard some good things about it, but I've also heard some controversial things about it, and which we'll probably talk about as the review goes on. But yeah, so today we're going to be discussing From Up on Poppy Hill, which was released in July of 2011. And I don't know really what to say about this. It's kind of like one of the films that doesn't really get talked about that much in terms of the whole Ghibli discography. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. Like, this is one of like the lesser talked about films in that or in the chronology. And to a certain extent, I can see why, but I can also kind of see why some people may say it's like one of the better ones in the franchise, or the in Studio Ghibli's catalog. And of course, I had to hear it from this guy saying like he said that it was really good. So I was like, well, fuck. If he's saying it's good, then it's probably actually gonna be really fucking good. Um, and so obviously we'll be talking about our opinions as the review goes on. But it is something, I'll say. I mean, do you want to mention anything before we move on?
I got nothing.
Okay. Okay. It seemed like something was off a bit, but I think it's good now. So this was made with a budget of around $22 million. In Japan, it made only just over 30 million, and worldwide it made over 60 million. So while in Japan it barely made its budget back, worldwide it did kind of triple its budget. So um, it was a success, but not to the extent that was Arita beforehand, which I actually am kind of surprised about. But I guess people weren't really in the mood to be uh or weren't really in the mood for another war anime film. Uh, and considering the fact that this was directed by the same guy who did Tales from Earthsea, I could see why people were hesitant. If anyone doesn't know, Goro Miyazaki, who directed this film, also directed Tales from Earthsea, which is a overall pretty
Bad
shite
movie.
film.
Overall, pretty
um,
bad movie. And if you haven't seen our review on it, then go check it out.
it'd probably be in a card somewhere around here. Um, but yeah, no, it really um it did kind of concern me initially when I heard that it was Goro Miyazaki directing. I was like, oh, Tales from Earthsea.
Yeah,
This is probably not going to bode well.
sound like as soon as I saw that, I was sounding off all the alarms.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening!
I think because of the fact that it was Goro Miyazaki directing it, people kind of were a bit hesitant after the thing that was Tales from Earthsea, so they kind of just backed off away from this film. But yeah, you want to mention anything before we go on to the summary?
I got nothing. Now, just get ready for this plot, people. So, if I can take it away, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, the summary is Japan is recovering from World War II and preparing to host the Olympics. Friendship begins to blossom between classmates Umi and Shun, but a buried secret from their past emerges to cast a shadow on the future and pull them apart. Now,
So yeah, pretty
okay,
fucking
I guess,
minuscule.
Yeah, I guess also while I'm at it, I was gonna say that summary was from Max because when you actually when I was looking this up on Google, it was a lot simpler, like oversimplified basically, and but then Russell found the new description on Max and it's like, okay, we can use this instead. But if you just want to see just how oversimplified this plot is, just look up on Poppy Hill plot summary, and then you'll just see what I'll probably throw up a screenshot or something, but you'll get the idea of like just how oversimplified Google's version is.
Yeah. So yeah, nothing. I think this has been the most simplified plot that we've ever gotten for a Ghibli film.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of surprising. I thought it was gonna be something way earlier. Well, I guess technically, if we want to, I guess technically Totoro was the most simple.
Yeah, I was thinking
really
Totoro.
nothing.
It was very simple and nothing major, or not a lot of major stuff happened compared to like the other ones we've seen.
Yeah, so I guess this is the first one in a while that had a very simplified plot.
Yeah.
I guess kind of worked in its own benefit, because I feel like if this film had a complicated plot, it wouldn't have really worked. But the fact that this is very simplified and very kind of structured down for a Ghibli film, it really does work for the situation.
Yeah.
So moving on to the cast now, we have really I would say our two main characters. First off, we're going to be talking about Umi, who's really I guess the central character. She is the one that we really do follow basically throughout the entire film, and she is played by Sarah Bolger. I think that's how you say it. And I'm gonna be completely honest. Besides this film, I do not really recognize her from anything.
Yeah.
Except for the Spider-Man Chronicles, which I've heard is actually kind of not really popular, but it's kind of like it's a light film for people who have seen it. She does pretty good in this film. Nothing too crazy. It's just very simple, very nullified. So overall, not too bad.
It's just your typical schoolgirl that has emotions as the movie goes out. But other than that, it's nothing too crazy. But still, pretty solid performance in general.
Mm-hmm. So next up, we actually have we go immediately into actually fairly well-known actors, and that is the actor who plays Shun, who is again basically our second lead character. He's the male lead for the film, and kind of like the one that we follow with, kind of on the same par as Umi, and he is played by the late Anton Yelchin. Now, if anyone who hasn't really watched films within the last 10 to 20 years, you may know him from several films, including the remake of Friday Night from 2011, also in The Green Room from 2015, Terminator Salvation as Kyle Reese, and as well as some other ones. But the one I really recognize him from the most, and probably most people as well, was that he played the reboot version of Chekhov in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek film, starting with Star Trek from 2009, to going into Star Trek Into Darkness from 2013, and then ending off with Star Trek Beyond in 2016. But unfortunately, right before Star Trek Beyond was released, Anton Yelchin unfortunately did pass away from a I think it wasn't it something I think it was something in something when he was doing he was getting an operation in hospital, I believe. I could be wrong about that. You may have to look at it, Franco, but
I'm
it's really a shame.
Apparently,
that
I'm looking at this right now. Apparently, he died because he was crushed from his SUV.
Shit.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. He actually does. I actually didn't really recognize him as I didn't really recognize Anton Yelchin's voice in this film, which actually, I guess, it really does work in the film's benefit, because you don't really. I'm like, oh, it's that guy. It's that guy.
Yeah.
But
it's not like a Billy Crystal situation to where it's like, oh, it's that person.
Billy Crystal or William Dafoe.
Yeah.
Or Willem Dafoe. What am I saying William for?
I almost confused William. It's fine. But I do like Anton's performance with Shun. I think he does pretty great overall. And I believe the next character we got is the little sister of Umi, which in this case is Sora. Not to confuse with Kingdom Hearts or any Smash fans.
That just sounds so wrong, Smash Face.
Oh god, I hear it now. Damn you, Russell! Don't get any ideas, people. I've seen some weird shit on the internet. Okay. Okay. Holy shit. Alright, anyway, we have Sora, who is played by Isabelle Fuhrman, or I hope I pronounced that right, but of course, we always fuck up. What do you recognize Isabelle from?
Nothing too significant except for the fact that she did appear in some of the Kingdom Hearts film or Kingdom Hearts film.
Oh my god.
Damn it. Hunger Games films. Jesus. As well as apparently having a role in After Earth with Will Smith and Jaden Smith.
Oh.
And I think probably most notably appearing in the Orphan films or Orphan films. It's basically about like some possessed doll. Also apparently being in Escape Room Tournament of Champions. I just hear that now. All I think is Ninjago. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, Tournament of Elements.
Yeah.
That was a good season, dude.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys want me to do a retrospective of the Ninjago film or Ninjago series, go ahead and put that down in the comments. I am thinking about doing that at some point.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
But anyway. Enough about Ninjago for now. Let's get back to From Up on Poppy Hill. But I think she does all right. I think the problem with her is like I've mentioned several times in the past before with Ghibli films is that she just doesn't have enough screen time in order for her character to be fully developed.
Yeah, but
for as it is, it is very good.
She is an enjoyable character, but she's not as major as like our two main characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
now someone who is actually as major kind of in the story is our next character, Shiro I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that last name.
Shiro Mizunumi. Or Numa.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna trying to
Shiro Mizunuma. I tried it.
Shiro.
Just Shiro.
Who is basically the best friend to Shun's character, Shun's character. And he is played by Charlie Saxton. Now, it's I wouldn't be surprised if you grew up in the last few years and probably know who this guy is. But he was a prominent role in the Troll Hunters series and films. And that should be enough said for him.
Isn't Zion obsessed with Troll Hunters?
Yep.
Yeah, Zion, if you're watching this, I don't care what you say. Nobody gives a shit. None of us give a shit about Troll Hunters.
Or at least us two. I'm pretty sure there's other people out there
I wouldn't be surprised, but like...
I think Princess of Fandoms is a fan.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he does very good. It's definitely I think it's definitely like a supportive role, but it is at the same time
not as major. I think there's only one.
I think he is the biggest supporting character or supporting cast member in the entire film.
Yeah, there's also that one major scene that I can think of like near the end, but like other than that, he is a good supporting character.
Wait, I was gonna say if it's the scene that you're talking about, it's more like near the end of the middle, like the second act.
I guess, but I mean, I think Shira does pretty good as a supporting character, which, I mean, given that role, I think he does. I think Charlie did great.
Yeah.
Now this next one, Russell is excited to do.
Yeah. I noticed her name, or this person's name in actually the beginning of the film, and then I asked Franco and see hey, did you know this person, or did you know which character this person played? And he didn't know until I actually managed to figure it out. Surprisingly, even though I didn't even know which character it was. Next up we have Roko, I think that's his name, or Roku, something along those lines, who is the mother of Umi. and she is played by the one and only Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, if you guys haven't heard of Jamie Lee Curtis and you guys are an older fan, I'm actually surprised because if anyone was like a kid to a teenager in the 80s and 90s, you have certainly heard of Jamie Lee Curtis's name, and it's um, very much synonymous in actor history. To mention some of the more smaller stuff before we get to the big hitter, she was in the 2003 version of Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan. She also starred in Trading Places with both Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. She also had a role in Knives Out, and I found this one funny. She had a role in My Girl with Macaulay Culkin, and there's one story in that she told recently in a UK show, which I found it fucking hilarious. Basically, like there's like obviously if you're working with kids on the set, you can't really swear because obviously you don't want the kids getting influenced on it. Naturally, obviously. So it's they have like a swear jar, so like whenever they swear, they put like a dollar bill in there, or $5, whatever. And right at the end of filming, like everyone's like, all right, that's a wrap, whatever. She picked up the two jars, looked at both the Macaulay Culkin and the main girl, I forgot what her name was, and she just said, "Fuck you" to both of them. It's fucking hilarious when you actually think about it in hindsight.
I've never understood the swear jar. I've never had that.
Well, it's like when kids are around, you can't really swear in front of them.
Man, fuck that.
Okay then. She also appeared in she was also a cop in Blue Steel, in Christmas with the Cranks with Tim Allen. She was also in The Fog, which was directed by John Carpenter, Prom Night, and as well as along with Terror Train and Virus, as well as Road Games and several other films back then that many people have probably heard of. The one that I know her from the most, and probably everyone else once I mention this knows. Well, actually, before we get to that, she also played the wife of Arnold Schwarzenegger in True Lies, which is one of the more underrated Schwarzenegger films in my mind. But the thing I recognize her from the most is playing Laurie Strode in the Halloween films. Now, she has, God, I think been playing Laurie Strode for now like almost 40 years now. Damn. 40, 45. Because she obviously started in the original Halloween, Halloween 2. She had a picture shown in Halloween 4, and then didn't come back into H2O, and then Resurrection. Like, okay, so Halloween 1, 2, had a picture in 4, and H2O, Resurrection, and then she came back, and then there was the Rob Zombie remakes, which she obviously didn't appear in, and then Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. So that's 8 films out of, I think, 13. So yeah, that's a lot. So she is very, very well known in the industry, and unfortunately, this is kind of like a situation from that we mentioned in the Ponyo review. If anyone remembers what I said in there about Matt Damon's character, is that they get this A-list actor who everyone knows, and yet they put him in such a minute role that it doesn't feel like he really, you don't really recognize that he's there. And this is kind of the same thing with Jamie Lee Curtis, even though they actually show her name in the opening credits, so you actually do know that she's in the film. Unlike Matt Damon, where I think you only know that it's Matt Damon until the end credits. So that's kind of bullshit. But anyway, my point still kind of stands. She doesn't really appear that much in the film, but to actually give this film a little bit of credit is that I thought that she was only going to appear in one flashback. And then, like, right after that, her character actually appears in the film and actually has a few actual scenes in the film. And for that, I have to elevate her appearance in the Ghibli film over Matt Damon's because she actually had somewhat of a role. And for the role that she got, I think she does a very fine job with it.
Yeah. Does a great mother role. And it still sucks that she still was a bit underused, but at least she had more of more, I guess, usage, unlike Matt Damon had with Koichi and Ponyo. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like Jamie's like performance in this. Thought she did good. And okay, so these next three characters are kind of like they.
Superfluous characters.
I mean, I guess
Really?
they don't have that much. Well, I guess the first one has the most screen time out of all these, but like they're not too major. But
Yeah.
basically, the next character we have is Sachiko, who is played by Aubrey Plaza. Now, Sachiko, I legit like. If you watch the film, you probably already understand what I might reference, maybe or maybe not. I can't fucking unsee her as Velma. She legit looks like fucking Velma. You can't tell me otherwise. I'm gonna throw up a screenshot of both of them. You can't tell me she does not look like fucking Velma. If you dare to fucking disagree, that is bullshit. That's cap I smell right there.
Yeah, she does very striking resemblance to Velma from Scooby Doo. So, I can't even argue against that. But yeah, so obviously, like Franco said, she was played by Aubrey Plaza, who I don't really recognize from that much, except for the fact that she is another actress from Parks and Recreation. God, that's like what, the third fucking time now in a row we've had someone from Parks and Recreation in a Ghibli film. I think it's like the third or fourth time in a row now. But she apparently also appeared in Dirty Grandpa, which I don't even know what the fuck that is. She also played Julia Powers in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which is something I actually really need to get around to. It's like one of the best comic adaptations from what I've heard. She also was in the 2019 remake of Child's Play. I remember not talking about it. She also apparently had a role in Monsters University as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who she played.
But yeah, I don't think she did that bad of a role. It's just that you're just so distracted by her face that you're just like,
Oh,
oh,
okay, Monsters University. So it's like the it's like the like the two like hosts of like the scare games, like that big ass purple dude and then like that small like skinny girl.
no, because honestly, I don't give a shit about that.
I mean, I don't think that I can watch the movie, but like I understand your point. Like we talked about this off camera, but I'm gonna just show you. I'm gonna say I'm okay. I DM'd you the picture. That's the character.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, anyone who knows Monster University, that I'll like throw up the screenshot. I think I should have already thrown up the screenshot, but yeah, I didn't even realize it was her. Anyway, is there anything else related, like in terms of Aubrey?
No, not really.
I mean, I guess for her role, she does okay. Like, like Sachiko just doesn't really appear that much, and honestly, she doesn't really have that much of like speaking roles. She's just
I
kind of
mean, yeah, like
she just kind
I
of
was just saying that like you don't really. It's like one of those characters. Like she does alright, but it's more just like I just look at the face. And I'm like, oh yeah, I just see Velma, and I don't really focus on her performance that much.
yeah, and even then,
So
she's just kind of like staring like into like dead space.
yeah. But yeah, moving on. We have again another really superfluous character. That being Aku, which I think isn't it like one of the fathers? I think,
Yeah, it's one of the.
or like
It's like what we think is the father to Shun. It's like the one in like the who's like watching TV when he comes home. But more on that later. But yeah, for right now, it's like the father to Shun.
yeah, and he is voiced by Chris Newth. I think that's how you say his name or
Well,
last name,
I thought it was Noth.
or not, whatever. um, he, I don't really recognize him from that much, except for the fact that he was a prominent role in Sex and the City and Law and Order, which were both fairly popular '90s shows. If anyone remembered those. Uh, he also played a notable role in Castaway, as well as being in Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. And I'm like actually looking through this, and I don't really recognize her or him from anything else. Um, he does alright.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. It's just like he's just kind of like the stone cold father that doesn't want his son getting into trouble. So, it's like nothing, too like notable, I guess. But what do you think about his character?
Thought he did okay overall. Like, yeah, the only problem is like he's very underused, but I like for what he's given, for like his major scene, I think he does solid overall. So yeah, not bad.
Okay. And then finally for the main cast that we have, there's so many. It's kind of like one of those situations again where this film has so many characters you don't know who to choose from, and
Yeah,
honestly, the majority of the characters are from the school,
yeah. I'll probably
or
like
the school and the clubhouse as well.
I'll probably like throw up. I'll probably throw up the screenshots of like just the cast because this cast is really big. But of course, we had to trim it down because what we originally had, some characters we removed because they pretty much just don't really have a real purpose to the role. But I'll still throw up the screenshot just in case you want to see what the whole cast is. But anyway,
Yeah.
who do we have next?
We have the final one, Gen, who I think is the
He's like,
ship captain, right at the very end of the film.
yeah, well, he's like the wait, actually, no, I think he's the dude who like gives him the ride so that they can get closer to like the harbor.
Oh, right.
I'll just
And
double check.
he
I'll just double check.
and this guy is played by a very well-known comedian, Jeff Dunham, who, if honestly you guys haven't heard of Jeff Dunham if you guys were a kid at least within the last 10 years and you haven't heard of Jeff Dunham, what the hell is wrong with you? He is one of the most well-known comedians out there who obviously does a lot of shows with he's a ventriloquist and stand-up comedian who basically does comedy shows with puppets and kind of has like little skits he has with them. Several specials across, God, I think ever since like the mid 2000s. So he's been doing it for at least like 15 years. Um, but yeah, he also did appear in both of the. He also appeared in Smurfs: The Lost Village, as well as several Scooby Doo adventures, which I was actually kind of surprised about. And that's really about it. And then obviously this film. Um, it's not too bad.
Yeah,
It's just a very minor role, but it's like you hear his voice. It's like, is that? Like, wait, it's like I recognize that voice, and then like you look up, it's like, oh fuck, it's him. But it's such like a minor role that it's like it comes and goes. And it's like, oh well, it's nice. He has like a little cameo there.
yeah. But I think his performance overall was solid. Like the character only really appears until the end, but it's like during so much suspense that I think he does good.
Yeah. Sorry, for my yawning. It's like currently almost 6 for us right now.
Yeah,
So kind of tired, but nothing too major. But I think that's pretty much about it. Unless you want to mention any other significant characters that we should mention.
yeah. I have nothing. So now it's time for, I believe, our favorite scenes.
Yeah, favorite scenes. I didn't really have that much from this film, honestly, because I honestly was just enjoying the film as a whole, and I wasn't really trying to pick out like favorite scenes or whatever.
I have a lot.
But also, I
I'm
was gonna say like that allows me to really just enjoy the film a lot
yeah,
more. So I really just gotta say that like I really don't have a favorite scene, but honestly, you know, I can just really just say like the whole film is a favorite scene.
yeah.
But you can go ahead.
I have so many scenes in my mind. It's kind of hard to like try to pick out which one is my favorite, but I feel like okay, that was weird. I feel like uh this isn't like specifically one scene. It's kind of like different segments, but basically, I forget when this happens, but basically, like Umi, is like showing or like shown around. I think her like place or something.
Yeah, because
They have like a
like
party.
one of like, well, no, because I was gonna say like, because one of the other people that lives in Umi's place is moving out, so that they have like this like going away party, and she invites both Shun and Shiro, and they both they both arrive at her place, and they are like eating together and just having fun, and then she takes them inside and like shows them around the place, and then you can go on from there.
Yeah, so she shows him inside her place, and then she like is showing pictures of her family and like her father, and then she pulls out like I think she pulls out like her like picture book, and then she has like this picture with like the three guys.
Yeah, because she's like she first shows him like pictures on the wall,
Yeah,
and she's like like, oh, like he's like, oh, is that your father? He's like, no, that's my grandfather. That's my father. Then they're talking about it. It's like, and then and then she pulls out like her picture book. She's like, but this one's my favorite, and it flicks to this one that has three Navy officers,
yeah,
and
and like
he's looking at it, and she's like, I always wanted to meet. I forgot what she says, but she mentions something about her father, and like you just see him staring at it, and then like you see like the cogs turning in his head, like something about this seems familiar. Go
yeah.
on.
So yeah, so he has that look like something like some some build-up's about to happen basically with this dude. And I think like after that, I don't know if it's like the next school day happens or if it actually shows him like going to his house. But whichever one happens.
No, I think no, because I think after, I think it's after the party. It shows him going back to his home, and he finds the picture.
Yeah, the
And it's the
same.
exact same one that Umi showed him.
Yeah, and
And if at that moment you didn't get it, it's kind of connecting the points together. Like, you getting this now?
yeah, but yeah. So he finds out it's the exact same picture, and for a while he just kind of quiet. Like he doesn't. He he. I'll just say like he acts weird or acts strange around the others until that point. Uh,
Yeah.
and then like I think at one point in the movie, I think it's raining. I don't know if they're. I think it's like after school ends or something. But or
Yeah.
yes, yeah, I think it's after school ends. Uh, so Shun and Umi are walking, and then like because Shun hasn't really been saying anything around Umi, Umi's like assuming, "Are you mad at me?" And then Shun pulls out the photo, and then
Yeah, because they're walking. Yeah, it's raining, and yeah, they're walking back from school, and yeah, she's like, what are you like? What's the matter with you? Like, are you angry at me? And he's like, I don't think he even says no. He just
yeah,
pulls
he
out the
just pulls out
photo,
the photo, and then
and she's like, she's looking at it. She's like, I'm confused.
he says, "I don't know how to tell you this, but we're brother and sister." And the
That's
thing,
the fucking bombshell of the
yeah,
movie. And
that
you're like, what?
what a plot twist. And the thing is, you start to see them build like this kind of like connection with each other, like this, boyfriend girlfriend connection. But then when you learn
Yeah,
that,
and then that just it hits you like a truck. Like, okay, then they're siblings,
yeah, by technicality.
and
And then
it's
what he says after that is honestly like as if it didn't hit hard enough. Then he says
well,
like,
okay, no, it's not even what he says after that is what concerns me. But I'll let you say that first.
but basically, like after Umi finds out that they technically are siblings, she's basically like, "So what's gonna happen now?" Or like, "What do we do now?" And then Shun's like, "I don't know, but I guess we just can't feel how we feel right now." Which they basically just can't feel love anymore, at least in terms of a boyfriend girlfriend situation. And that just sucked because you really start to like them and see the bond build up, and then it was just that moment. It's like,
But
oh shit.
I was gonna say that is true, but technically, the relationship doesn't end there. I think you could say either foul or like I don't think if this is correct if you've seen the movie, but I don't know. I started seeing them develop the relationship again.
I mean, yeah, they did.
It's not immediately after,
Yeah,
but it's like they build up that boyfriend girlfriend relationship again, and I'm like, so wait, you both know that you're siblings, and we're not talking about like it's like like you're like distant cousins or whatever. They are legit brother and sister, and yet they still continue the relationship as if they were boyfriend girlfriend. That's the part that kind of confused me a bit. I'm just like, that was the part where I was like, what? Like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't think honestly that you could say again foul on this. I think it would honestly get up to the point. I've heard people say this in terms of the plot that it's one thing for like it's like, because if anyone hasn't seen the film, a good chunk of the film, and it is pretty much a good pretty much the entire film is about the kids building or rebuilding this clubhouse because it's in ruins, and like it's like the only thing they have. And so when they hear that this place is about to get demolished, they're like, well, fuck that. No, we need a place to actually kind of, sanction ourselves and like have these clubs. So they go renovate the entire place, and it actually does look very nice when they're done. And
to give you an idea of how bad this place looked, just picture the average Discord moderator's room. I think that should be enough. Like we've all seen the memes of the Discord mods and how fat they look, but just imagine the Latin club, I think it's called, or like the Latin house or something. Just imagine that as their fucking bedroom. I think that should give you the idea of how bad it is.
So yeah, they're basically just like, well, like fuck this. We're not gonna stand by and let this happen. We're gonna we're gonna protest. So they go clean up the entire place, and like I said, they do make it look very nice. And so, but then by the when they're done with it, they're like, they get news like saying like, oh, the chairman still doesn't care. He's gonna demolish it. And so, Shun, and I forgot what the other guys for. Shoru all decide, you know what? Let's go to fucking Tokyo and convince him. So that's what they do. They all board a train to go to Tokyo, and they go to the company. And they go to the chairman, and they're like, hey, sir, like we get that this is your job and whatever, but we still care about this place. It has a connection with all of us, and we want this thing to stay. Would you mind coming out and seeing it? And I forgot. Oh yeah, because then the chairman starts talking to Umi about like what her backstory and stuff, basically. And after she explains all that, he's like, okay, I can see some potential in you guys. And then he just rings the phone and he's like, yeah, okay, that one's later on tonight. Okay, I want you to push everything back until Friday. You guys got me tomorrow afternoon. And they're like, well, fucking sweet, let's go.
Oh, wait, oh my god, I just remember, okay. So, sorry for interrupting, but I just remember another one of my favorite scenes is like when they're waiting to talk to that dude.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, okay, so they head into the building, right? And, like, they're just trying to check in. And then there's like this, female staff member, and she's like, you could have made an appointment, and he doesn't usually talk to people who don't make appointments, but because you look so determined, I guess you can wait. Just don't bother anyone. And what got me so much was like, I'll throw up a screenshot, but there's like this still frame of them just looking dead ass right in front of the camera, like straight forward at your face, and it's like that like at least 3 more times or 2 more times because like they're
and a solid like 20 seconds.
yeah, because like they're
Or at least 10 to 15 seconds of them just staring.
yeah, and they're just waiting, and like like whenever they think they're finally gonna be able to talk to them, it's just some
Yeah, they all
other
it's like they all stand up like okay, and then like she's like delivering like food or, like drinks or whatever, and then they're like, oh, okay, thank you, and then she walks away,
And
sit
it
back
just
down,
goes-
stare at the camera again.
and yeah, it just goes straight back to that fucking frame, and
Yeah.
like but fucking Christ, that shit was funny, man.
Oh, my camera's getting out of focus here. Yeah, fuck it. It's already near the end of the review anyway.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, so they convince him to at least go and visit the place, and like right before he shows up, that's when the relationship starts to bloom again, where they're like, like,
yeah,
oh,
and then
maybe
that,
this
and,
thing.
yeah, and then that scene, I'm just remembering the scene now. Yeah, so like they convince him to go to like the building to check it out, and as
Yes, and hoping that he'll be like he'll change his mind, saying like, okay, well, it's not gonna get demolished, but go on.
yeah, so like as they're on their way to go back home, there's this scene where
Oh fuck, I know what you're talking about.
it got me so much, dude. But basically, there's this scene where Umi and Shun are like near this train station, and
Wait, no, because they're just walking through the streets of
Yeah.
Tokyo, and then Shiro is just like, hey, my mom actually called, like, my mom told me, like, hey, I should probably go, like, I should go
Well,
check
yeah.
up on my uncle, and I'm gonna go and
Well,
catch
yeah,
up on
but
you guys later.
he's just gone.
But it's like the way that he's saying it, it's like, oh, you're full of shit, buddy. You just did that just to get them two by themselves. Like the way he was saying, he was trying to say it so frequently, so he could just like leave, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my mom told me, or like before I left, like I should go and check my uncle, so I'm gonna go and do that. All right, you two have fun. Okay, bye." And it's like, okay then, sure. And then so they start walking around the city, they start having a little chit chat, and they arrive at this train stop, and
This scene honestly got me, dude. Like regards of like what their current situation is, I could not stop feeling emotional over the scene. So as the train is like, like the train's about to arrive, and they're just talking, and like Umi, just still having the thought that they like she and Shun are technically brother and sister. She's just like she has all these thoughts, and she's just you know she just has all these thoughts, so she can't really think properly.
contain them anymore.
Yeah, and then like Shun is like, Umi, regardless of her situation, just know that I still love you. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, holy shit, man. And if that
Well, because they're sitting there waiting for it, and as it's coming up, she just fucking bursts out into this whole conversation, like, or this like her like just saying like, I don't, I know that we're supposed to like something along the lines like, I know we're supposed to we're technically brother and sister and blah 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 blah, but I still can't help the fact that I love you. And then like, I think she goes like to say something, and she's like, and then he's like, I like Yumi, I love you too. And then yeah, that was the moment where
that shit got me, dude. I could not hold back on that. Like that was so fucking emotional.
Yeah, but I think okay, so I know Franco may hate me for saying this, but honestly, it is kind of a fair point actually looking back at the film. So you start off with these two characters having, meeting each other and being like, oh, you're a cool friend. It's like, oh, you're a cool friend, and then they start building up a natural relationship together. You think they're gonna become like boyfriend and girlfriend, and then yeah, then the bombshell drops saying that, oh yeah, you're actually siblings, and then they sort of break off for a bit, and then once they get right before they get to Tokyo, or before they leave for Tokyo, they kind of like start building things up again, and then on the walk there, they're kind of like building it up again, and then that's the moment where I'm like, are they saying that because like out of like sibling love or like relationship love? And if it's the latter, is that technically incest? Because I'm just saying that is a big part of what people talk about with this film, is that there is that kind of mystery about it. Like, so like, is it like sibling love, or is it something else entirely? And so I'm honestly, I know this may sound wrong, but honestly, I from what the film gave me, I'm kind of in the latter category. It honestly did seem like that they were actually gonna have a full out boyfriend girlfriend like relationship, which, honestly, I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, you can't have this because you're siblings or whatever. If you want to go and do that, that's perfectly fine. Just keep that shit away from me personally. So the fact that they actually I don't know if it was in their minds to actually try and do this, but the fact that they actually tried to attempt to do that, I'm actually surprised. And the fact that this part is not even talked about for like the rest of the film, I'm actually surprised about that. But that's at least what I got out of it. I don't know what Franco gets out of it or what anyone else gets out of it who has seen the film, but that's personally what I get out of it. But I don't know what you think about that, Franco.
I mean,
if you want to talk about it.
I don't like. I personally just don't care. Like, you can see it as like, wait, are they like loving each other like sibling wise or like boyfriend girlfriend wise? I don't care if either or. I still like love those characters a lot, and just like, even given their situation, just the fact that they still technically like love each other, that shit just got me, dude. It's like, holy shit, man. Uh, but I think that's about it for favorite scenes, unless you have something else to say.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
What the fuck
So
did you look up?
Okay, so I looked up, basically asking like, is the relationship from Up on Poppy Hill incest? And the first thing that pops up is, but why was From Up on Poppy Hill a concern? Well, it had an incest scare. The incest is covered up very quickly with the truth. They're not actually related. They were just under the impression that they were they were just under the impression that they were like, they realized they had to cover up at the last moment. Despite that, okay, so this is what I mean though. Like, I'm not saying like, it's a bad topic to talk about. It's just that this is actually like a debate that people have. Is like, is the relationship in this film technically counted as incest? Which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just a genuine question to think about, because, you know, either you go with story A, which is they're not related at all, and they were made to think that, and they're just like actually, friends that became romantically like romantically in love. B, or B, they're actually siblings, but they still have those feelings for each other, which in that case technically counts as incest. I don't know. You can pick whichever choice that you want, but this honestly just confirms that it is technically, it is actually a thing that people actually do discuss about. So I mean, I'm not making this shit up. This is legit what people think. So I'm just saying. But again, it all really depends on what you think about the relationship, and no matter what you think it is, if it's just sibling love or like romantic love, whatever. It's just that, however you think of it, that's all that matters. But I feel like if people saw this video or this review and have seen the film and knew the implications, if we didn't mention it, there would be something in the comments saying like, "Oh, why didn't you mention, this, thing or whatever?" It's like I usually, unless it's like very serious, I'm fine with talking about it. But if it actually relates to a serious matter, I don't like talking about it. But in this case, I think it's okay, because it doesn't affect anybody, and plus it's just a film, so realistically, like, if it happened like actually, like, in real life while they were making the film, then I would have problems with it. But it's just an implication from the film itself, so I think in that case, I think it's all right. But again, it's what really you think about it, and if you think something else other than mine, like if you think it's just sibling love, that's great. If you kind of relate to what I think, that's fine too. It's just I feel like that it just needed to be addressed and kind of put out that like yes, this is actually a thing that is discussed with Ghibli fans. So kind of wanted to address that. But is there any other favorite scenes you want to mention before moving on to the fun fact?
I think that's about it. So yeah, I think now it's time for the fun fact, which we only have one. Uh,
Yeah.
because again, like when I try to look for these fun facts, I try to look for ones that actually seem actually interesting. And for this one, I couldn't really find any that like really stood out to me. But this was like the closest one. So yeah, I guess I can take it away. But
Yeah.
for today's only fun fact, did you know that the three siblings' names actually have a meaning? Now, when we're talking about the three siblings, we're talking about Riku, who we didn't mention because he really doesn't have any role besides the beginning, and really his fucking role's very short. But basically, Riku's the
Yeah.
little brother of Umi. So we have Riku, Umi, and Sora. So those three siblings, uh, their names have a meaning. So Riku's name means land.
Well, I was gonna say in at least in Japanese. I'm not
Yeah,
sure if they have an American meaning, but
yeah, but in
I feel like that should be addressed.
yeah, but in Japanese, Riku's name means land, Umi's name means sea, and Sora's name means sky.
So they are legit like the three like airbenders.
God fucking damn it, Russell.
Oh god.
All right, well, that was the only fun fact. So now I believe it's time we give our rating for this movie.
Yep.
I guess I can go first.
Mhm.
But yeah, so from Up on Poppy Hill, I fucking enjoyed it so much, and I did not expect it because, like I said, when we got to the 2010s era, I was pretty concerned because that's where the big decline really starts. But from Up on Poppy Hill blew my expectations. Like, I can see myself watching this over Arrietty, but with some of the other like S tier and like high A tier movies, probably not as much. But I think for me, I'm gonna give this an A rank, but like somewhere in the like a mid A tier. And like in terms of letter grade, I'm gonna give this a solid A.
Okay, so for me personally, I think this is a very good movie, and I would definitely be coming back to this at some point. But on the other hand, I don't think it's good as Arrietty, and I think it's honestly because while you do relate to the characters to an extent, for me personally, I don't think I can relate to these characters as much as I could relate to both Sean and the as well as Arrietty and her family from the previous film. I think they had more of an emotional connection, whereas this film it's just more of just like, oh, you're just following these like these classmates, through you know these adventures. So it's like while I did enjoy the film and it was a very good ride, I just couldn't really connect to the characters as much as Arrietty. So for that, I will be placing it slightly below Arrietty, but uh, it is still very much an enjoyable film, and that means that this film will be getting the 10th spot in my current rankings, which unfortunately means that now The Cat Returns is out of the top 10 for me. It's currently now at number 11, unfortunately. So yeah, I will give this the same ranking as I did for Arrietty, which I think was like an A minus, I think.
Yeah,
But from I would probably watch Arrietty over this because it's kind of like I'm not saying that all films should have an antagonist. I'm not saying that at all, but like I feel like Arrietty's plot was way more like it was easier to follow. Like okay, like these these tiny people are trying to move out of their home, and this boy finds out that they're real, and as he's trying to develop his like friendship with them, the maid turns out to be a kind of like an insane person and tries to reveal their secrets. It just seems way more easy to follow, whereas this one is just like you're just going through like these like this like week with these characters, and like while that can work and it does work, I just think that I follow the story more with Arrietty over this. So for that, I'm gonna give Arrietty the slightly bigger slot. But for me, I'm gonna put these both as like an A minus, and obviously an A. In terms of tier ranking, I'm gonna put this as an A, but slightly below Arrietty. So
Okay.
yeah, guys, that really does it for on this episode of Studio Ghibli Summer and our review on from Up on Poppy Hill. As per usual, if you like this sort of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon to get notified when future videos are coming out. If you want to see some gaming content from this guy over here, go and follow him on his Kick page because he just started getting back into live streaming because I think recently you did a Fall Guys stream, which I think did pretty well.
Yeah,
And I don't know what the next game you'll be doing is.
I'm not too sure.
If it's soon or not.
Like, anyone who's been keeping up with the Fortnite news, then you might know about the new season that's happening. And we still don't know if there's a live event that's happening. But usually if there's live events, don't they have like a countdown in the lobby?
Yeah, but from what I've seen from like a day or two ago, but they did not have a countdown yet.
Yeah, so I think
I don't think we're having a live event this season.
Yeah, which does suck. But
honestly, I don't really know like what they could have done with it,
I mean,
unless they made it boring as fuck with like the chapter, like the beginning of chapter 4 event.
Oh, the fucking fractures! Don't even mention that shit. That was so garbage, and I remember I was getting so hyped for that, and then I was severely disappointed.
I remember I wasn't even home during that when you streamed it.
Oh my god, and that was December, man. Fuck me.
Mm-hmm.
Time flies.
Wow,
but like even though I would like to stream Fortnite again, my computer would fucking just shit on me if I even tried, and it did when I tried, and I'm not gonna risk it again. But I'll still make some gaming content whenever I can. Obviously, like if like let's say like Russell is out like on a specific day and I don't really have anything else to do, I'll like okay, yeah. Because right now I'm just focused on Studio Ghibli Summer. Like we are so close to finishing this that I'm just putting all my time into it, and I don't really see it affecting my streaming stuff because I don't really know what to stream next, honestly. So it doesn't really affect me that much.
Yeah, because after this, we only have 4 more films to discuss.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And no,
4 more films.
I was gonna say the boy in the Huron doesn't count because that has not gotten a US dub yet.
Yeah,
it's only been released in Japan. So for the time being, that would not be discussed. We're only getting up to Earwig.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah. But anyway,
it's crazy to think that we only have 4 films after this.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to check out some gaming content, go and check out his channel on Kick. I believe the Fall Guys stream is still up on your Kick channel, right? I think it is.
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure. I don't know how long Kick has, like, the streams up. But it does the same thing as Twitch, where after a certain amount of time, it will be gone. And because...
Yeah, but I think the time for it to disappear, I think is actually longer than Twitch, because I think Twitch is only like a week.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you want to go and check out gaming content, go and check out his channel, and obviously follow me on Twitch, because I'm gonna try to get back into live streaming. I'm gonna try and do one more Fortnite stream before the new season starts, because I want to at least get back into the streaming and see if everything works out correctly, so that when October comes, the big thing I want to do for that comes around, nothing will happen. But so yeah, go and follow both him on Franco and Kick and me on Twitch for some live gaming content. As well as per usual, if you want to get notified when a future video is coming out, or just about my personal life in general, go and follow me on my social medias down there. My Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, that sort of shit. Also, if you want to get notified when what I think about a movie before the review comes out on YouTube, as per usual, go and follow me on my Letterboxd page. That's when I usually post the reviews, or when I think about a film before the review comes out on YouTube, as I will do for this film. So stay tuned for that. And probably by the time that this review comes out, My review on Letterboxd will already be up. So, yeah, go and follow me on there. And I think that's pretty much about it. So,
Well,
Franklin, you want to announce what the next episode will be on?
yeah, alright, so the next episode of Studio Ghibli Summer, which actually will be the 20th episode, which is insane. But anyway, the next film we got is The Wind Rises, released in 2013. I think
And
this.
I can already tell that I think Franco's going to be a big fan of that one.
Well, we'll see. But I think this might be the last, I guess, good or decent film of Ghibli until we get to like the last three, which are like either shit or just not talked about.
Or shit or mid.
Yeah, which I'm not excited for, but it is what it is. I mean, we've gone through a bunch of shit only yesterday: Ocean Waves, and then Mid on Poco, and then forgettable shit that was fucking Yamada's. We've gone through it.
Yeah.
So it's nothing new, but it just sucks. But anyway, yeah, we'll see you in episode 20, which is going to be The Wind Rises.
We'll see you guys next time for our review on The Wind Rises. Live long to prosper. Out.
Later.